Hello and welcome back to Module 1. This is Lesson 2, and now that we know that fat loss is driven by a calorie deficit, let's figure out your baseline, the starting point, otherwise known as your maintenance calories. And we're also going to touch upon a very important concept called your BMR. This is where the magic begins because you cannot create a deficit until you know what to subtract from. So, what is your maintenance and how do we calculate this? Well, let's go in a little bit deeper. Your maintenance calories is a giant category. There is a huge part, I'd say like 50% or a little bit more, which is based on your BMR. Your maintenance calories are largely made up of your basal metabolic rate. So what is BMR? BMR is the number of calories your body needs at complete rest, just keeping you alive, heart beating, lungs pumping, organs functioning. An example that I like to give might be a little bit morbid, but roll with me here. It gets to the point. Let's say that you were in an accident or something happened and that you were in a coma. If you're in a coma, you know that means you're not moving, you're not going anywhere, you're quite literally bedridden, and you're in the hospital. So how much does the hospital know to feed you? Because you still need food. Not as much, don't get me wrong, but your BMR, what you need in order to keep yourself alive, that's your BMR. So what your body needs in order to keep you going is your BMR. If you were in a coma, then that's the amount of food that they would need to give you in order to keep you going. Does that make sense? So everybody has a BMR, which is set on different factors. Number one is age. As you age, it does tend to decrease. You need less food, less energy. Two, your gender, your sex. So men typically have a higher BMR due to more lean muscle mass, and we'll get into that a little bit more, but muscle does require more energy, and therefore men with more muscle, more testosterone, tend to need more food. Then the other factors are your height and your weight. Now, bigger bodies require more energy at rest. What does this mean? Let's say that there's a woman that is the same age as me, same height as me, we run the same, we do the same. She's a copy-paste version of me. But there's one difference. I am 130 pounds, and she is 200 pounds. We could be exactly the same, but because our weight is different, she will need more energy. She will need more food. I should say more energy, actually. We'll get into that concept of volume eating. So she needs more energy, more calories. Because of that, when you lose weight, your BMR changes. Your maintenance calories change. And this is key and this is crucial. I need you to know this. Your maintenance, depending on how much weight you lose, will change. It can change. So if you want to lose 5, maybe 10 pounds, there's not going to be a significant impact to your maintenance calories. If you want to lose more than 10 pounds, more than 5 kilograms, then there can be a decrease in your maintenance calories or a difference, okay? Because, let's give another example. Let's say you decide you're going to wear a weighted vest. You've heard and you've researched that wearing a weighted vest helps you to burn more calories. There you go. So when you lose weight, it's like you're taking off your weighted vest. You need less energy, less calories, because you don't have that weight to keep going and doing the exact same movements and things that you've been doing. Okay, so there's another component to your maintenance calories. So the first one that we talked about was your BMR, which is the largest contributing factor to your maintenance calories. Side note, there is a link down below in order to calculate your maintenance calories. I don't want you to fret. There is an equation that I can give you, which is the Mifflin-St. Jeor's equation. But instead of having you do the math and stressing about the numbers, there's a calculator that I'm attaching down below. You put in your stats, you put in your details, and based on that calculation, you will know your maintenance or your BMR. I'll get into the specifics a little bit later. But another contributing factor to your maintenance is your thermic effect of food. So, very briefly, the energy your body uses to digest and absorb everything you eat. You actually burn calories digesting the food that you eat. And because it's part of your total energy expenditure, depending on the type of food, you can burn about 10% of your calories just by digesting. This, again, is about the type of food. You can burn more calories simply by digesting if you eat more protein, 20 to 30%, which is a lot. Another factor is NEAT, so non-exercise activity thermogenesis. All the little movements that you do throughout the day, you've probably heard. Take the stairs instead of the escalator. Park your car farther away from the store so that you have to walk more steps. The amount of steps that you take, the fidgeting that you do, the activities such as chores or doing the dishes, all of this burns calories. So that needs to be taken into account. And then the other factor is your workouts, strength training and cardio sessions. Somebody who runs 10 kilometers a day is going to need a lot more energy, a lot more calories. And finally, that comes down to your maintenance calories. How do you calculate all of this if we put it all together? A fancy term for it is I always have to look at my notes. So, total daily energy expenditure, TDEE, which equals your maintenance calories, your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, the thermic effect of food, how much calories you burn from just digesting food, your NEAT, your fidgeting, and then also the exercise and movement that you do purposely. Okay? This is roughly your maintenance and the total calories that you burn in a day. If you're not gaining or losing weight, this is your maintenance. Okay?